Hello, and welcome to a video. This time, I've got some sprues from Konflict 47 that I got from a combination of my neighbour and a magazine. So we're going to be having a kit bash of these, and seeing if we can turn them into something a bit more sci-fi, a bit more post-apocalyptic. First up, looking at the automaton sprues. So we have the heavy automatons, and the regular automatons, which are meant to be kind of World War II British robot things. But once you take away the Brody helm, they look pretty much just like robots. To start off with, assembling them vanilla, with the exception of the heads. The default heads have these rimmed helmets on, that are a bit too World War II coded for my liking. So flipping one upside down, and trimming off the ball knob, we get something less identifiable, and a bit closer to what we want. But we do also limit some of the movement we can place it in. Taking a head from a Stargrave cyborg model, and sticking it on the neck joint. Then taking some random accessories from different kits, mostly from North Star ones, but I think there's a few Wargames Atlantic bits as well. Dry fitting until we get something we're happy with. Aiming for robots that have basically gone rogue and started scavenging and coming up with their own stuff. We also had to order some larger bases, going up to 30mm for the heavy automaton. Then, because it's a kit bash video of mine, taking some milliput and sculpting up some fur cloaks for them, or I guess more of just shoulder pieces for them. Using superfine white milliput, which is a 2-part sculpting medium, stabbing a blob on the shoulders, then taking a sculpting tool and pressing lines in until it looks like fur. And if it looks bad, you take the entire thing off, roll it into a ball, and start again. When using milliput, you will always have stuff left over. So taking a piece of plastic card, I put a few blobs on, then started sculpting them up into various mushrooms. For the basing, using Vallejo ground texture paste, with some random desk debris put on to add a bit of kind of rubble and scrap, using a few aquarium stones as well. Then for a few final touches, I added some skulls on the shoulder pad and hanging off the gun. Then taking black gesso, I primed the entire piece, following that up with a dry brush of dark brown from AK Interactive. Then layering a bit more dark brown over the first shoulder pieces. I then put these two to one side and started work on some zombies. So these are World War II based with a few kind of weird war elements, so some of them have some kind of heavy armour, but they should be fine as kind of derelict mining crew that's become zombies over time. Thinking a kind of toxic, deserty, post-apocalyptic planet. I avoided using most of the World War II helmets by replacing the heads with some of the Stargrave ones. Again, mostly from the cyborg sprue or the Scavenger kit. Then while the basing dried on them, I filled in the metallics on the robots. I opted for one blue and one red, so taking a bit of a turquoisey blue from P3, I filled in the various armour panels. Not bothering to be too neat, because any of the missed areas will be brown underneath, and that'll appear to just be chipping or weathering or dirt or age or whatever. Then for the other one, going for a rusty mid-red brown colour. I also figured I could break up some of the more recognisable uniforms by going for a yellow utility vest. So I started off with a base coat of pink, then following it up with a layer of yellow. Using P3 paints for this, then jumping back to a turquoise colour for the rest of the uniforms. So for the most part they'd have this blue uniform, yellow utility vest. Then they'd have brown coats over the top, where it made sense. With the vague idea being that these are either a lost mining expedition or a ship crew. Following up in that kind of desert planet theme, going for a pale peach colour for the base of the skin tone. And I want these guys to be quite dried out and almost desiccated. Using dark brown to finish up the rims, and then hitting them over with watered down tenebrous brown from Make Interactive, which is a fantastic glazing paint as it has a matte finish and it seems to just darken everything down, dull it, and put shadow in the recesses. It's a bit of a cheat, but that's okay. With the glaze dry, I reapplied the highlights using the original base skin tone, pulling out the prominent features, like the nose and the muscle definition. Then hitting any metallic, such as any carried tools, the goggles, and applying some weathering around the edge of the panels, which is also where these guys caught up with the robots, and I applied the weathering on the edge of the robotic panels as well. And by varying the intensity, you get a nice kind of weathered effect on it. That was most of the painting done for the base layers, so I went in and filled out a few details, like the cloth and the bone elements, using lighter tones, so those elements would pop out compared to the darker models. To give the fur a bit more depth, I went for a green colour before applying a final layer of tan over the top, using the same tan to fill in the dirt on the base and put highlights on that, as well as hitting the lower 50% of the models, so there'd be some weathering. Then, where there were exposed innards and such, filling that in with a light red glaze, so it would keep that kind of desiccated, dried out look. Then taking a bit more watered down tenebrous brown, I applied a few more glazes to add a bit more depth of colour. With those final bits done, they were complete. So no tufts for these guys because they live in a horrible, dried out desert land. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of hiding their original origins. They don't look very World War II. I mean, some of the uniforms do if you look at them closely, but I think the bright colour scheme takes away. And the robots are generic enough when you take away the helmets. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to catch you next time.